So, Chris, tell me, how did you come to love nature so much?
Well, my parents say that I was interested in everything that I could find in the garden that was creeping and crawling and slithering around. And I had a very small garden. I'm lucky to have this large garden now, but when I was growing up, it was about the size of a tabletop, you know. But there were ladybirds there, slugs and snails, and I'd be crawling around, I was picking them up. My parents were, you know, really kind. They let me keep animals at the house. I had a big collection of reptiles when I was about 8, 9, 10. And then we started taking in animals and trying to nurse them back to health, wild animals that were sick or injured.
Yeah.
And so the garden filled up with foxes and badgers and buzzards and things like that, you know. And then I realised that I could actually learn more about animals watching them in their native environment rather than keeping them in my bedroom. When I came to the garden, it had been very heavily grazed by deer, and there was not a lot of regeneration, not a lot of new trees growing. So we're very lucky to have these old trees here, but there were no smaller trees. Here's one of the smaller trees that we've put in here, and then hopefully in time this will grow up and it will be almost reaching the lower limbs of these taller trees, and then you've got a more complete community of plants which will encourage a greater number of animals to come and live here. Since we came 3 years ago, we've planted more than 460 trees. Obviously, we'll
in this garden right here?
In this garden, this is one of them. Now, one thing that the garden didn't have, and it's the single most important addition, is a pond. Because if you add a pond, you add a space where aquatic animals can live, where terrestrial animals can come and drink or bathe, and then you get a mix of all those in between, like the amphibious animals, which may come to the pond to breed, but then spend the rest of the time outside. But I've got to tell you, you don't need this much space. If you get a washing up bowl, right, and sink it into your garden, put some gravel in the bottom of it, and then something, you know, to allow animals to get in and out, like a piece of wood or a piece of rock on the side, things will come to it. And you'll get newts, you'll get frogs, you'll get the same, you know, dragon and damselflies. And the addition of a pond is just the best thing to do. There's no question about that.